Hey guys, Gummincher Zero here and Get Plays with Trains, and it's been a couple years now. Originally, I had the one table, and then I had added another table, and somehow that turned into storage for about a year. And but I still had the loop on the one table. Now I've gone ahead and I put the two tables together and into an L shape. And what I'm going to show you here is I've got basically, I widened them out so that I've got a 5 foot wide layout on both legs or both sides of the L. And then the one I pulled it out there to the edge of the area of the room where I wanted it. So I actually added a 20-inch extension on that table. The inside parts are just shelves basically that I built out from the sides, and I supported them underneath back down to the legs with these braces. So they're connected to the long sides of the table and then also back down to the braced legs. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put foam on top of here. And I bought this tool to cut the foam with, but for the long sheets, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. My first idea was I need to peel off all this plastic and stuff. And I just had a dickens of a time with this. It took forever. And I finally kind of gave up. So I got like all the silver stuff off. But as you can see from all the shininess there, I did not get all of it off of the other side. So that right there, that's just a drywall square. Use that to cut drywall. And the square lets you get a nice straight cut. So here I am just cutting the, just scoring along the edge here, and this is going to actually be the insert to fill out that 20-inch wide section there at the end of that table. But instead of coming over 48 inches, I'm going to go over 60 inches, 5 feet, and that'll fill in that whole end of that table. So first I cut that, and I'm just kind of trying to make a nice straight groove there, and then go ahead and go back over it again to make sure that I've cut through everything. And then I used the same drywall square there at the to cut the top part of it. And I'm not showing it, but I actually had already cut all the way across on the down the middle from the other side. So let's go ahead and cut this part. I'm doing the narration later because there was just so much footage. I actually had like a whole hour or so of footage here that I had shot over several days. And then once I've got it all scored with the razor, I just went ahead and broke the boards along that score line. And I don't know if I recommend doing it this way. You know, I've never really done this, but you see all those little balls there that broke off? Just a huge mess. And just to put it in perspective, that's 2-inch thick foam. And eventually I'm going to build this up in the middle, and I'm actually going to have tunnels and stuff. But first things first, I was having the foam was sliding all over, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put some screws in here. This layer of foam that goes straight down onto the table. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to screw that to the table. And I got 2.5-inch screws so to go into the top plywood pretty well. And really all I'm looking for here is just lateral support so the foam doesn't slip back and forth sideways across the top of that table. And when I got all done, what I found was that section that I had cut there was just a little bit too wide. So I went ahead and measured it out, and at one end it was 2 3/4 inches, but for most of it it was about, 12 3/4. But for most of it was about 12 1/8 or so. So I'm going to finally use that foam cutter. But before I cut it, I'm going to draw a scribe a line here. I want to make sure I get a nice straight edge. This is a different ruler that I've got that I also used for drywall when I finished the basement. And I'm just marking the top of the foam there with a pen so that I can use that electric foam cutter there. And I've never used that before either. And I was really hesitant. I don't know why, but I mean, for some reason, I found it intimidating. But as you can see, I mean, it does a really good job. You can cut a nice straight cut with that. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use that to trim this whole board all the way across the end there, so that it's uniformly about 12 and an eighth inches wide. And I was really pleased with the end result of this. I don't know why I was so afraid of it. I think it's because, like, as you can see, like, my hand, like, if I'm looking at something and trying to do something, my hand will start to tremble, my right hand. Not so much my left hand. So I basically had to make sure that I was holding it right so that I would go ahead and be able to, maintain a nice straight cut. But as you can see, it really moves through this foam pretty quickly. And it was a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of the first time I used a router, doing woodworking. It's kind of like, wow, I don't know, it's kind of scary at first, but then it's kind of like, wow, everything needs to get routed, So, and nothing left to do but slap this part in. As you can see, it fit pretty nicely. And then, thumbs up, gut. And then time to screw that in place too. So we've got the first layer down. As you can see, I've got an 048 circle of track there. And I'm going to do an outer loop all the way around my whole layout of 48-inch easy fast track. And then I think the inside part's going to be 036 gauge diameter. Anyway, I think that's going to be enough for this episode. And hope you liked it. And I'll catch you next time.